Welcome to Curious Life. Today we're going to be going through my customized homemaking and cleaning routines so you can see if any of my routines can help you set up your routines or just help you make your life easier, because we all deserve a slightly easier life. So we're going to start with our day routines and specifically the morning routine. But before I talk about what my routine looks like, let me introduce myself. I'm Issa and I make intentional homemaking videos with my wife Blaze. And in these videos we try our best to keep on top of our home and make it a cozy, welcoming place despite the various challenges life throws at us. And you might be wondering why we're talking about my routines for 2025 and we're already a month into 2025. Well, the simple answer is just taken that long to get here. January was a really weird month with a lot going on, and I just never really managed to get started. But at the start of February, I vowed to make that change for myself, and I decided to start the year again and go forward with a positive mindset and just control the things that I can control, and my home is a great place to start with that. And routines are one of the ways that we keep things under control here. It isn't always easy because I'm not actually good at routines. I'm not really good at keeping house clean and tidy either, really, but I have found that routines have really helped, and they are how we do keep on top of things as best we can. I do follow the FlyLady cleaning system, although what would probably be more accurate is that I have my own system that I have based on the FlyLady system. I have heavily customized it so that it works for us. And I have learned that there is no cleaning routine on earth, not a single one in a book, a YouTube video, anywhere you could think to look, that works perfectly for everybody. They all need a little bit of adjusting to make it work for you, or some will work for some people and others will work for others. That's just how it is, and this is the one that I found works for us, for the time being anyway. So the FlyLady system works on a series of habits and routines that cover pretty much everything you could think of in a house. Things that need doing like cleaning or homemaking, but it also covers things like groceries, planning, errands, all sorts of things. And my daily routine consists of a morning routine, an afternoon routine, and a daytime routine. Then I also have a weekly routine that's called the daily focus, but don't worry, we'll get there. And then a weekly maintenance clean, and then a monthly routine as well. Don't worry if this sounds like a lot, it is overwhelming, I definitely understand that, but it isn't as overwhelming as it seems, I promise. I will briefly talk about each one of these routines and how I've customized it for 2025, and the reasons I've changed my routine recently. I'll also very quickly show you my index card system, my home planner, which is this. I do have videos specifically on this, but this is essentially how I keep track of everything that needs doing. And I have got lots of videos where I go into that in more detail. So I've actually got mine set up into days of the week, and then my zones, and then my monthly ones at the back here. Don't worry, this will make a lot more sense as we go. So should we get started and actually talk about the routines? So let's talk about the daily routines first. And these are a set of morning, evening and daytime routines. And these cover most of the types of tasks that you need to do on a day-to-day basis. We definitely are not perfect, and we don't always follow it perfectly. We do most of the time. The daily routines are the ones that we are best at. And it starts with the morning routine, which is the busiest part of my day. And as the name implies, this starts in the morning and it starts from the moment you get up. It does for me anyway. And the point of this routine is to set you up for an easier day overall. So a lot of this routine is doing things that could be defined as prep work for the day. And for me this starts about 6:30 AM with getting up, dressed and going for a dog walk with Blaze, which we do together most of the time because it's just a good way of getting into the day. And it gets the dog walk for the morning done, which is always helpful. And then after that it's straight home and feeding Cora the dog and Millie the cat. And then most of the rest of the morning routine is spent in the kitchen, where I do things like emptying the dishwasher from the night before, giving things a quick tidy, feeding the pets and making sure they're okay. But the most important part of it is making sure that we have an empty dishwasher at the start of the day. So we always put the dishwasher on overnight, and then by the morning it's ready to empty. And then emptying it first things means that it's empty and I can just load it throughout the day so that we don't have dishes piling up on the side or any of those things. Next, I usually pop a load of laundry in. I think that most cleaning routines suggest one load of laundry a day, and this one is no different. I don't necessarily do a load every day, but I do one most days. And doing it first thing in the morning just means that it's done and you don't forget it, because it's one of those jobs that's really, really easy to forget, I find. But then once all those things are done, it's just time for feeding us and having coffee. And I usually take my coffee and my breakfast and go and sit down and check my planner for the morning and just spend a little bit of time planning out my day. So next is the daytime or the afternoon routine. I've actually renamed this my 5 p.m. routine because I would find that I never really knew when to do this routine. So I always ended up missing parts of it. So I decided to give it a very specific time of 5 p.m, which is when I usually start making dinner, so I can slot the rest of the things on this list around making dinner. This routine is mostly there to remind me to prep for the next day, although it does include a couple of daily cleaning tasks on there too. So this routine is to make dinner, prepare any food needed for the next day, things like packed lunches or anything that might need prepping for the morning. Then while dinner is cooking, I give the downstairs a quick vacuum to keep on top of the pet hair, and then I tidy any clutter spots. You know these places, every house has one, or at least one. They're the places where clutter just seems to gather. Doesn't matter what you do, clutter always gathers there. So that's the areas that I focus on. And then I also have a reminder on this just to make sure that I either put laundry away or move it from the washing machine to the dryer or out of the dryer. Whichever step it's at, it's a reminder to do that next step because I am terrible at leaving laundry in the dryer for days on end. But then that's it for my afternoon routine. My last daily routine is the evening routine, and just like the morning routine, the point of this is to make your setup for the next day much easier. I feel like a lot of my routines, the aim is to get ahead so that you make the next routine easier, and then that just sort of has a bit of a domino or a snowball effect where everything just gets a little bit easier if you're a little bit more prepared. So this is a routine that Blaze and I tend to do together. And we do this just before bed and after we've eaten and relaxed for the evening. All this one is a quick tidy, go into the kitchen, tidy up, put everything in the dishwasher and turn it on. Just basically shut down the kitchen for the night. Make sure we've got everything we need for the next day. Things like pet food, because our pet food is frozen and needs defrosting. Anything we need to get out for us for the next day that needs defrosting, I'll do. And it's just making sure that everything is ready for the next day. And that does include choosing what clothes to wear, and if you're heading out to work or heading out for the day, making sure your bag is packed and ready to go so that you're not rushing around in the morning. Okay, so let's talk about weekly routines. I often find these a little more difficult to pin down, but let's firstly start with the daily focus, which sounds like a daily routine, but it's not really. It is a weekly routine that has daily aspects to it. And the point of this routine is that your days are routine so that you know what you're doing on every day. So every Monday is grocery day, or every Tuesday is cleaning day, or whatever it is. It just works so that every Monday you know what you're getting up and what the day is holds in store for you, unless you have to change anything. Obviously everything is always flexible should it need to be. So to make a daily focus routine, you just choose your days of the week and you choose what theme that day is going to have. So Monday for me is the day that I focus on weekly tasks. This includes my weekly maintenance clean and any other weekly tasks that I've set for the week. The types of tasks I've included in this are things like changing the bedding, vacuuming upstairs and vacuuming low traffic areas, giving the bathroom a quick clean, cleaning the fridge and vacuuming the stairs. These are the types of tasks that I only really need to do once a week. Then in addition to that, I also do a weekly reset clean. This is an hour-long clean where you have a set of 6 tasks and you allow yourself 10 minutes per task, and if you haven't finished the task by the end of the 10 minutes, you stop. It doesn't matter if it's perfect or the job's finished, the point is that you have made progress, and then the next week you prioritise the areas that you didn't get to this week. So for me, I do a quick tidy and check my clutter spots again, because if I haven't been doing them daily, they tend to gather clutter and stuff. Then I spend another 10 minutes dusting. Not a big dust, just I basically wave my swipper around the house until the 10 minutes is up. This is just a maintenance clean, not a deep clean, so you don't have to worry about moving everything. It's just a quick dust to keep on top of things. Then I make sure I check my plants and water any that need doing, because that's a job I always forget. And then I check to see if there's any laundry to put away, and there is always laundry to put away, so then I do that. That's actually why I've added it to the reset, because I'm terrible at putting clothes away. I'm absolutely fine at getting them in the washing machine, but after that the whole system just falls down. So I've allowed myself time for it because I know it's an area I struggle with. Then I just vacuum and mop downstairs. I do vacuum more often than this, as I mentioned earlier, but this is just a slightly more thorough vacuum and a mop of the floor as well. So that's it for Monday. Tuesday I have set for a recording and cleaning day. You probably don't have to worry about recording, but the reason I give myself a recording day, which coincides with my cleaning day, is because that's the day I am definitely at home and I have no other plans. So I can either record my cleaning or record whatever else I need to record alongside this. So you might be wondering how this cleaning day is any different from yesterday's cleaning day, because I did cleaning yesterday too. And this is the day that I would add my deep cleans in, which are called zone cleans on the FlyLady system. So this is just a heavier cleaning day. If yesterday was all about maintenance, today's about really cleaning. And then this is also the day that I'll do any monthly tasks that I've decided need to be done this week. And I keep track of these in my index card planner, which I use for solely taking care of the house. So on the day that I do my planning, I check the monthly section and grab out any cards and tasks that need to be done, and this is the day that I would do them. So Wednesday is the day that I've decided to allocate to errands. This is a set day to try and avoid all of those having to pop out every 5 minutes, or every day, or twice a day, or however often you find yourself having to rush out. So instead of doing things on an ad hoc basis, you just save them all up for one day and get it all done in one trip. So this is things like trips to the post office, taking library books back, popping to go and grab any shopping that needs to be done, or delivering something to a friend, or any of these types of things. Obviously this doesn't always work out perfectly because sometimes errands are time bound and you do have to go and do them when they need doing. But other than those, I have found that saving them all up for one day actually works out pretty well for me. Thursday's daily focus is my editing and planning day. So I mentioned earlier that this is the day that I check my planners and the index card box, and I move all of my tasks around so that I know what needs doing for the following week. This doesn't tend to take too long, so I paired this with the day that I plan out my videos and do some video editing too. Even with making time for this, I often find that I still need to edit on other days as well, but this does help routine the process a little bit. Then Friday is the day I've set aside for studying. This isn't going to be a thing that everyone needs to do, obviously, but I am currently doing a psychology degree and I have been struggling to find the time or putting the time aside to prioritise that. So I decided to allocate a day to make sure I get that done. Now, one thing to mention is that I don't just do the one thing on these daily focus days. This is just the priority for the day, is that I will prioritise study over doing something else, but I will also do other things, but they tend to be on a more ad hoc basis, and they tend to be arranged on the day of whatever I need to do that day. So obviously, if you're not studying and you don't need a study day, this could be actually a day that you allocate to yourself. Because my study is actually part of my self-care. It's something that I do to make me feel good and to feel like I'm progressing towards goals. So you could add in any self-care days or hobbies or any of the things that you'd like to do but struggle to find time to. This is where I would put those things if I wasn't studying. So Saturday I've allocated as a catch-up day. If I'm ahead of myself, then this is a free day, but I am very rarely ahead of myself. So this is the day I've allocated to catch up on all the tasks that I've left behind, I haven't finished, or I just didn't get to. If I'm honest, this tends to be YouTube related or study related, because those are the things that slide the most. And then Sunday is a free day. This is the day I spend with Blaze or relax. If I want to get work done, I can. It's not that I don't work on a Sunday. It's just that I don't have to. It's not my priority for the day. And that is it for my weekly routines. And we are nearly there. So it's just time to mention the monthly routines. There is only one of these, thankfully, and it is the one that I mentioned earlier, the zone cleans. This, to me, is one of the major parts of the FlyLady cleaning system. And it's the routine that helps you do more than a quick tidy and a surface clean. If you are anything like me, you hardly ever get to the deep cleaning tasks. I have spent most of my life mainly focusing on maintenance cleaning and just trying to keep on top of things. And then I always wondered why my home isn't as clean as it could be. Well, it turns out for a clean home, you actually do need to do those deep cleans occasionally. But even once I knew that, I still couldn't seem to find the time. And this is where the zone clean routine helps. So I do my zone cleaning a little differently than FlyLady recommends. She suggests you spend 15 minutes per day getting a couple of tasks done. I've decided that for the moment I'm going to do zone cleaning on one day, which is the day that I've allocated for recording and cleaning. So let me explain a little better. A zone is an area of your home, usually a room or two, and you divide your home into 5 zones, and that you divide it how best suits you, as long as there are 5 zones in total. Then each week of the month you allocate that week to one zone. So zone 1 is always done on week 1, zone 2 on week 2, and zone 3 on week 3, and so on. My zones are Zone 1, being the monthly tasks that I mentioned earlier. They're just tasks that cover the whole house because I prefer to do tasks that are the same at the same time. So think of things like cleaning windows. You would only usually clean the windows in the zone that you're currently working on. But I prefer to run around the house doing all of the windows at once rather than get the equipment for this task out every single week. It is just a personal preference, there is no right way to clean. So Zone 2 is my hallway and utility room. Zone 3 is the kitchen. Zone 4 is the living room and offices, and then Zone 5 is the bedrooms and bathrooms. And I am suddenly very aware that I have not explained how to set up a zone clean. Well, once you've decided on your zones, you write a really long task list of things to complete in each zone. Things that you would consider more deep cleaning than maintenance cleaning. So this could be things like vacuuming behind furniture or deep cleaning your kitchen cupboards. The things you wouldn't do on a daily or weekly basis. Then you spend 15 minutes a day or a period of time of your choosing, and you get through as many tasks as you can off that list in that time. And then in theory, by the end of the week, you've got a good amount of things on the list. Chances are you haven't done everything, but that's not the point. The point isn't to get absolutely everything done. You just have to do as much as you can, prioritizing the things that you didn't get to done last time. And then you forget about it and move on to the next zone next week. And then when next month rolls around, you prioritize slightly differently and do the tasks that you didn't get to that month and do them then. And then in theory, you are deep cleaning every area of your house, depending on how many tasks you have, like every month, every 2 or 3 months, or however long it takes. This does seem like a big ask, but I have found that any cleaning is better than no cleaning. And once you start a routine like this, it accumulates over time. So the first month you might not notice much of a difference, but by month 6 of following this, then your house is transformed and everything is so much easier. But anyway, that is the last of my routines and how I've set them up for 2025. I am probably not done though. I am always adjusting my routines depending on what my life is currently like. And I also do have plans this year to do a lot more research into different cleaning routines, styles and methods. And I'm really excited because I have been researching routines from like the 1800s. So I think it's going to be really interesting to see what I learn from different routines and even different periods in history. Anyway, if you have any questions, please do drop them in the comments below. I know this video is a lot and the routines seem big and scary and complicated. If you'd like me to show you what each routine looks like separately, I can do videos on that if you want, so just let me know in the comments and I will do that. But all that leaves me to say is thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a lovely day and I will see you in the next video.